Hello, welcome to another preptober video. So this time we're going to be going over how to expand a story idea into like a full-on story. So I do have a list here of 17 ways that you can work on expanding your little premise, your little inkling of a story idea into a full-on novel. Or maybe short story, depends on what you're up for. So number one is write the premise from your story seed. So the premise is usually the who and the what. So the main character does something. Or it can be an even broader concept, like the A-team in space. But when you write down the premise, it would be like the A-team in space, but where they're fighting a certain organization to save one of their team members while completing their mission. So pull it out, make it a whole who doing a what, and yeah, that's the first step for your story seed, is the who and the what usually. Number two is figure out your main character's motivation, so the why. So what is the main character striving to do? What do they want in life? They have to have agency, so they should be acting or at least thinking about what they want to change in their life. They need to have a goal. It could be, do they want to not show up to a wedding without a date? Do they want to undo a terrible procedure done to a friend? Do they want to save the kingdom from possible war? Or save the galaxy from an alien invasion of a species that they can't even communicate with? Who knows? But there needs to be a why. So it can be a huge world-saving goal, but I would also have you have a more personal goal along with the big goal. So are they trying to save the world specifically so that they can save their sister? So in the long run, they're willing to sacrifice hundreds of unknown beings in the battles as long as their sister is still safe. So things like that. So have the big goal, but have the personal goal too, if the big goal is save the world. Number three, what is the thesis? So this is what the main character needs to have the change of heart towards. This is the lesson being taught. It can be a range of things. So redemption is possible. Just because you don't know someone completely doesn't mean they can't be trusted. Or love deserves a second chance as long as they've grown as a person. Or maybe not everyone with a tragic backstory has to be a villain. Things like that. What is the thesis that you're going for? This is what your main character is going to be learning. And number four is, what is the antithesis or the antithesis of that? So this is your character's misbelief. So the opposite. So is the antithesis that redemption is out of reach no matter what I do? Unless I know you completely, I can't trust you. Once burned, I can't love you again. Or my past defines me and I must be a villain. It's my destiny. Sometimes characters will not make that change of heart. So the antithesis is what they should be learning, but are bucking against. So we'll see how the arc goes with these characters later on. Number five, where is the main character comfortable? So this is the known world. So this is the status quo, the beginning of the novel usually, where they are in their element, living their everyday life. They may not be super happy, but this is what they know. And yeah, so that's their home, that's home base, that is status quo. Number six, find out where the main character is uncomfortable. So in the hero's journey, this is where they cross over into the unknown world. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a physical place, although it can be. Is it a new school? Is it a new relationship that they're in that they've never been in before? Are they in a different biome that they have a disadvantage in? Are there new rules and hierarchies where they're at that they need to learn? Yeah, so is it a call to adventure where they leave their home? Is it going to a new school? Is it going through a portal? Is it leaving the clearing and going into the woods where the witches and the creatures are? So it's leaving the comfortable into the uncomfortable. Number seven, brainstorm the main character's tactics and behaviors based off of their upbringing, misbeliefs, and their enemies and allies. So this is the first half of the story. So brainstorm, what are the consequences of believing in insert misbelief? Or what kind of tactics would somebody with this misbelief use? So start brainstorming how your main character would act, think, and use others, and try and get to their goal while they still have their misbelief. Number 8, brainstorm how the main character would think and feel and act after their change of heart. So how would somebody with this new set of beliefs think, feel, act, use others, things like that? So what kind of tactics would they use in battle? What kind of magic would they use? Things like that. So before and after, there should be a change if they are having a character arc. Number 9, pull tarot cards. So you can do this for unexpected twists in characters or situations, or validate your choice. So I did this for my middle grade horrors. You can pull for both character development as well as plot. Will the main character have an unexpected moment of anger? So I pulled cards for my main character of my middle grade horror, and it said that he would have a moment of anger. And so I was like, not a very angry kid, but if his family was threatened, he would be angry. So I had to add that threatening moment where he would snap out and try and save his family from the evil plant lady. So that helped me to shape my story a bit more and get more of a journey by having more of a roller coaster of emotions that this character went through. These cards can also be used to clarify relationships between characters. Is the uncle that the main character living with a hermit who is running away from his problems, or an emperor who is comfortable in his domain and just has everything under control? Depending on which one you go with will completely change the story and the dynamics and the tone. Number 10, you need to decide if this is a tragedy where the character does not make that change of heart, or they do, but it's too late. So there are positive character arcs, negative character arcs, and neutral ones. There's a positive where they do make that change and have that misbelief changed and the thesis comes to fruition. Or there's a negative one where it ends in tragedy, where they have not made that change and they're like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, and they succumb. So it could be that, or they're like, okay, fine, I'll make the change, but it's too late and the people that they were trying to save are already dead. So, things like that. Or there could be a neutral character arc. These happen for episodic things sometimes, like Sherlock Holmes in the books, where he's not needing to learn a lesson every story. It's more of a plot driven instead of a, like, I need to overcome this misbelief driven type of story. So, yeah. So when you have a negative character arc, you should also be brainstorming, what is it that they are risking their soul, their future, their life possibly to not learn? Why are they not learning it? Is it pride? Is it self-doubt? Is it actual programming? Are they not human and they're actually programmed this way? Who knows? And what are the consequences of learning it too late? So I touched on that a little bit, but yeah, just make sure there are consequences. It doesn't have to be that somebody died, but it could be that they miss out on a relationship or they miss out on a job opportunity, something like that. And number 11, so many. What antagonist would thrive in the uncomfortable, the unknown world? So the main character has left their comfy house and now they are in the unknown. And out there, what type of being would thrive? So that's what I like to ask when trying to come up with my villains. So a lot of people do like the super strong villain that is in their element and just kicking butt and are a real threat So why are they thriving? What's out there in that new world that is making them such on the upswing? So the main character should be at a disadvantage in this new world and the antagonist at an advantage. It doesn't have to be a life or death one. It could be that they are like a mean girl thriving in a high school type of environment. So do certain types of being thrive in this other environment? Is it a place where a being with certain types of abilities would be on top? Is it a high school where the mean girls are reigning? Like, what type of person, what type of being, what type of abilities would this being have based on of that environment? Number 12, what religions or magic systems would develop in both the comfy known world and the unknown world? They could be different. Not necessarily, but they could be. So what resources are held dear in this unknown world and the known world? Is there like a water shortage and they're in a desert? Is it that a certain dye is needed for the fabrics of the royalty, and so that's in high commodity? Or like what is it that is limited and held dear? Because that can also inform your magic system and your deities and religions and things like that. So are there ancient religions that are passed down for generations? Are there new upcoming cults? Is there no religion at all? Are there spiritual practices with no organized religion? Are there half-buried statues of ancient, long-forgotten deities that nobody knows about anymore? There could be a history of this entire religious system, and yeah, just go for it. Have fun. And what type of magic thrives in this biome, or what type of beings? So is there ocean magic? Is there desert magic? Is there magic through music or word? Or are there bargaining with devils that are roaming around? There's a plethora of different types of things that you could do. So it all depends on your environment. Also, are there any rare types of magic that have fallen to the legend? So like Avatar, master of all four elements, like fell into legend because he was gone for 100 years. So are there any rare ones that could be really fun to have crop up, or just to hint at? Is the villain the only one who can wield a certain type of magic? So have fun. All magic doesn't have to be the same. Like, there could be rarer ones and more common ones, and I don't know, make up your own system. It's fun. Number 13, ask magic questions, mind map, and make lists. So a magic question is where you ask a more specific question. So instead of how does my character get from A to B, you ask what is the coolest way my character gets from A to B, things like that. Or what is the most epic way? So write down your magic question and start listing out all of your possible answers. You can set a timer or not, whatever. Depends on if that gives you anxiety or if it'll force you to actually focus. So start brainstorming. Usually your first ones are the more cliche or over-the-counter ones, but the deeper you go, the more unique ones that you can get. Mind map possible motivations, possible biomes, possible magic systems, possible gods, etc. There are many, many different aspects that you can mind map. So just write down, like, what biome is this? Do a circle, and then spider web out, like, desert, ocean, forest, other planet, and just like start volcano and start spider webbing out of different possibilities and just go for it. It's really fun. I have used this to mind map different things of like what are the different motivations of this government type of thing, things like that. So just, you can use mind maps for basically anything. Write out things that you've seen done before and love, then brainstorm how to make them different or tailor them to your character or plot. So I have written down 2 very common tropes, I guess, and listed out possible questions that you could ask. So the first one is Empire versus Rebellion. So this is very common. This is Star Wars, this is like Hunger Games, this is many, many things. So the first couple of questions. Are there other government types you could work with? Does it have to be an empire? Are the rebels not completely in the right? Are there multiple rebellions and secret societies that are against each other as well as the government? So you don't have to do a pure Star Wars, super good rebellion group, super evil empire. There can be shades of gray, and mess with that. The second one I brainstormed up some questions for is magical boarding school. So, what type of magic system? How many years is the education? Is there apprenticeship as part of it? Does there need to be different houses? Are different types of magic banned from the syllabus? Are students dying or going missing? Are there sororities or secret societies? Is it a school for the rich and the MCs on scholarship? Is it cozy, dark academia? Are there only humans enrolled? Are there parent-teacher conferences? Is there a counselor on site for when abuse is discovered, whether bullying or from the home with the family? What types of cliques are there? Are there any sports? Is this a new magic school just getting set up and this is the first class? Or is this an ancient and noble tradition? Is modern technology or futuristic technology incorporated into this? Number 14, timeline out the main character's backstory. So this will help you in the long run, especially if your character is long-lived, like a vampire. Yeah, I had to do that. It helps you line up what your characters are doing with each other and when they're separate. So this will help you see when they interacted in the past, where everything lined up, and help you keep it straight. And number 15, create name banks. So character first and last names, planet names, deity names, creature names. There's many different places you can find these. So there's fantasynamegenerator.com. There's also baby name websites to find different meanings of names. There are lists you can just Google of most popular names, X year, X country, and it'll list them there for you. So that's very helpful. Number 16, family trees and maps. So I have done this for my sci-fi duology, and it's been very helpful. So do characters have siblings, parents, etc.? Are there secret relatives? Who is part of which secret society? Who was killed off and murdered? How far apart are each children in the family? Which had magical abilities that are passed down? And which bloodlines are ending? Also, maps can be helpful. You can do a map of a school, or a town, or a spaceship, or a solar system. Are there secret passages? Is there space between the walls for eavesdroppers to stand in? Are there train stations? Are there hidden libraries in a wardrobe? So this will help you keep your distances consistent and how long it takes to get from place to place. Number 17, is this a 5-man band, a golden trio, or a 2-person relationship? Do the character development questions for each of the people in your core group of people. So it would be for Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and then also you would do one for your antagonist. So a lot of times the antagonist is the tragic arc, so they do not make that change and leads to their downfall. So yeah, just do these exercises for multiple characters, and each of them will feel more fleshed out, have their own arc, so that they feel like they are growing or falling, and like they're important and they're 3-dimensional and not just revolving around the main character. So they actually are people unto themselves. So yeah, those are my 17 tips to help you expand your story idea into an actual story idea. So yeah, how to expand it. So I hope this helped. I will see you guys later. Happy Preptober. Bye.